Hey, what's up guys? It's Marf and welcome back to another Asphalt 9 news video. Today I'll be covering another developer chat that was on the general Asphalt 9 Discord today, and I definitely recommend you join the Asphalt 9 Discord if you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on, and if you want to read every little detail that was covered with this developer chat, you can read it in that specific channel on the Discord channel. I'm not going to go through absolutely everything because that would be a bit of a very long video, and there's a lot of stuff that just really doesn't need a lot of covering, so I'm going to go over all of the important things. But like I said, if you want to check out every little detail for yourself, and there really isn't much else besides what I'm covering, then go ahead and join the Asphalt Discord. I believe you can do it through the game. So in terms of multiplayer, first thing is first, for the next update, league rewards are going to be coming back. So if you haven't noticed, the last bunch of multiplayer series did not give out any league rewards, and a lot of people were confused that they were only seeing series score and leaderboard rewards. It was, in my opinion, a bad combination of competitiveness and grinding, so a lot of people wanted it to change back to how it was before. So I think a lot of people are going to be happy that league rewards are coming back. On top of the league rewards coming back, they are also making the league rewards cumulative. So basically what that means is when you get into a higher league, not only will you be getting better rewards in general like normal, but you'll also get some of the rewards found in lower league. So for example, if you reach gold league, you'll also get some of the rewards from bronze league. Now we don't know any specifics, that's just kind of a general thing that they told us is going to happen. So in talking about series score, that is not going away, and they're planning to actually increase the maximum rewards incrementally based off of how many players actually reach the end of the rewards. So for example, if more people reach the end of the series score rewards, the more rewards that they'll add onto the end of series score. They also say in terms of series score, you can no longer get 0 series score by coming last place in a race with at least 5 people, but then in that same message they say immediately right after that you can still get 0 series score if there are more 5 people in a race. Now, I don't know if that is such a big important change, but it was just weird that they contradicted themselves. All you really need to know, I guess, is that hopefully less after the update, you'll get more series score in general if you come last place. So moving on, let's talk about rating a bit, because they talked about how you lose rating in this update, or in the coming weeks, and there's going to be sort of a cap for rating loss introduced in the next update, and there's basically 2 of them. The first cap is a very basic one, and it just keeps all players basically in bronze league, and it really just means that you can't go negative in terms of rating, and for most people this is not going to matter at all, because it's not like you're losing 5 races in a row as soon as you start playing multiplayer. The second cap was a bit poorly explained and a bit more complicated, but it's going to be a cap where you cannot lose more than 20 rating points once you are, and I quote, based in initial protection threshold, unquote. Now, I have no idea what this means because they worded it really weirdly, and they didn't explain it at all, but from what I can tell, I think this means that at the beginning of joining a new league, like let's say you just get into Platinum League right after you've been in Gold League, you will not lose more than 20 points in the first few races that you play in Platinum League, but we'll just have to wait and see what they do. Hopefully this just means that there are going to be less times where you're super frustrated when you lose a race and you go down by like 40 or 50 rating. Next up, a lot of people were curious about club versus club multiplayer. They talked about this previously in another developer chat, and it's something that we've been kind of asking for, and they say in this chat that there's going to be something special later this year that will allow clubs to compete with each other, and it's going to encourage the use of a variety of different cars, which is nice. And they just say that there's going to be more information in an article when they get closer to whatever date that they're talking about. They don't give any specifics, but they do say that it's going to be later this year. So next up, let's talk a bit about matchmaking. Now, at the moment, they currently don't want to change how matchmaking works to be based off of car rank, because then they think it would limit the amount of players in each race. And their whole goal is that they want as many people to be matched in a single race as possible. And if they, they say that if you match it based off car rank, there's going to be a lot of times where you get into a lobby and there's just no one there, or it won't find a lobby. Now, in response to this, they say that they currently don't have a good solution for matchmaking in general, because they understand at the moment people only drive a few cars because they are the best in the league. So I think you all know what this means. They're talking about the dominance with the Huayra and the Huracan and those types of cars, and they're trying to find a solution. Now, they do mention a couple of ideas, and I'll go over those now. One of those ideas that they're looking into is matching manual drive players and touch drive players separately. Now, this has been a very controversial thing, and it seems like something that they would actually do, but I don't think this is going to solve a lot of the problems. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next solution that they're talking about, which is looking at changing how cars are grouped in general so that there's going to be a bigger pool of cars to choose from in different leagues. And the most obvious example of this is when you look at S-Class, a lot of the low-end S-Class cars are just not competitive for Legend League, but they could be pretty darn competitive for Platinum League with a bunch of the other A-Class cars. So I'm thinking that they're going to change up how the cars are pooled together in different leagues. They've been doing a couple of these changes in previous multiplayer series, but they never had any sort of permanent change, and so hopefully they'll make one soon. Next up, let's talk about the 1 vs 1 challenge. Now, they don't say 1 vs 1, they say multiplayer challenge, but they mention things like entrance fees, so I'm pretty sure they're talking about 1 vs 1. But essentially, firstly, they're going to be removing the entrance fee, and that's really awesome because a lot of people just didn't want to go into something if there was a big entrance fee, which is nice to see. They're also changing the amount of laps from 2 to 1. Now, I'm very disappointed in this because I think 2 laps is like a very good racing experience. I think it allows for comebacks. It allows for a lot better evenly matched competitiveness because you have time to understand how your opponent works. Blah, 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 blah. I think I talked about this sort of stuff in another video, but it's still disappointing in my opinion that they reduced the amount of lap times, or laps in general. But going back to the removing entrance fee, a lot of people were hoping that the rewards will stay the same, and so far that seems like it's going to be the case. So no longer will you have to pay an entrance fee, and you're still also going to get the same amount of rewards. So lastly, I'm going to go over just a bunch of various things that was mentioned in the developer chat, nothing very specific, so this is just a bunch of stuff that they mentioned. So firstly, they're going to be looking to add more variation to the rewards over the course of the year, but they said don't expect any sort of changes soon. So I think what they're talking about is changing the cars that they give blueprint for. So like right now they give blueprint for the 911 Targa 4S, the Corvette, and all those different cars. So hopefully they'll be changing those over the course of the year. Next up, and while this is definitely a step in the right direction, it's by no means a solution, but they are extending the no collision time at the beginning of the race for series that have collisions enabled. So if you didn't know, at the beginning of a classic series race, for about 10 seconds, you actually can't collide with anyone, and that's to prevent knockdowns and a bunch of collisions happening at the beginning of the race. And they're extending this time. We don't know by how much, but it's nice to see that they're at least extending it. Next up, they are working on showing the drop rates for the blueprint rewards in multiplayer, which is awesome. And he does say, or the developer chatting in the Discord, he does say that they are possibly, also making it available to see drop rates everywhere else in the game too. So I'm really hoping that in events such as the car hunts, you will finally be able to see drop rates. I wouldn't get your hopes up, but at least hopefully we will now be able to see the drop rates for the blueprint rewards in multiplayer. They also talked about bringing back different multiplayer series and expanding upon some, and they said they might add back the Asphalt Jungle multiplayer if it gets popular enough. Now, if you didn't remember, for the anniversary of Asphalt, they had this sort of Asphalt Jungle multiplayer where it was just a bunch of 30-second races. It was pretty chaotic, and you could use any car you want, and so if it gets popular enough or people request it, then they're looking to add that back. In general, in terms of modes, they want to try and bring back, or at least add, one new type of multiplayer mode to Asphalt 9 this year. And the current top idea or suggestion among the developer team is bringing back Infection mode from Asphalt 8, not only for multiplayer, but also for special events. I think this would be awesome to see, and we'll just have to wait and find out how it works in Asphalt 9. I'm hoping that it's a good addition to the game, but it's nice to see that they're looking to add some more variety. Now, disappointingly, they do talk about cross-platform, and it is definitely not happening anytime soon due to, and I quote, technical hurdles. Now, I don't know the extent of these technical hurdles. I mean, they don't explain it at all, but he is very clear that cross-platform is definitely not happening anytime soon. So I would stop, asking and complaining about cross-platform, because clearly they don't want to do it. and unfortunately it doesn't seem like, you know, they're going to add it anytime soon. Next up, they talked about the fuel in the limited trial series, because previously it was unlimited fuel, which was awesome, but because of a bunch of bot spams and idle players, because of the unlimited fuel, they're actually, you know, going to go with limited fuel so that they have a decrease in the amount of bots and idle players. So in terms of multiplayer, that was pretty much it. He does mention though that the Devo special event will apparently be coming back for other players, hopefully besides the Legend Pass players. So that is I guess a good thing. But besides that, that was a lot of information for multiplayer. Overall, I would say it's pretty positive. Like, there's a lot of things in here that I like, but it's definitely a whole thing where they took one step forward but like 17 steps back the last time that we had the dev chat, and they changed things like league rewards and all that sort of stuff. And while a lot of these are incremental improvements, I think we could be so much further ahead than we are right now in terms of the multiplayer experience. But again, it's nice that they're at least, you know, doing these dev chats and they're changing the game, you know, based off of feedback. So it's nice to see that they're changing these little things based off of what the players are inputting. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about multiplayer and the dev chat in the comment section down below. I hope you found this video useful, and I will see you guys later.